Joining us now is longtime Aztec basketball coach Steve Fisher. Coach, thank you for the time. Coach, I know you were highly involved in helping turn him into the player and the man that he is today. What is it like for you watching Kawhi Leonard once again in the NBA Finals?
Well, I think when success happens, everybody wants to stick their hand in there and say, I had a part in it. But the biggest role is played by Kawhi Leonard himself. The work and commitment and time that he put into improving his game. Unless you witness some of it, you would not imagine how hard he's worked. I've never seen anybody be as diligent and committed to his trade as Kawhi is. So I'm very happy that we had an opportunity to coach him at San Diego State, obviously, and so happy for him that that he's having such a great season and career.
What did you and your coaching staff see in Kawhi that others maybe didn't? Because you were the first in on his recruitment, right?
Well, we were. I think what we saw was a player, and I think the NBA has evolved into a positionless league. And when we recruited Kawhi way back in 2009, people said, oh, you got to be this, you got to be that. But Kawhi was a player. And some people said, well, he's not a post player, not big enough to be a post player, not skilled enough to be a perimeter player. He's a tweener. You know, the old line, he's a tweener. And we kept saying, boy, is he a player. And he sure is a player.
Coach, you know Kawhi as well as anybody does. He's super interesting to me. I don't know him at all, only watching him play basketball in the post-game press conferences and everything. He almost looks like a 100% introvert, except when he's out on that basketball court. Describe him, if you would, as a player that you coached and as a teammate. What kind of guy was he in the locker room?
Quiet, did not say much. In his own little circle, he had a couple of guys on the team that he hung out with, and he would laugh and joke with them. But he was what he appears to be, very much to himself. But when he got on that floor, he stood high and looked his play. And I think leadership is so displayed in so many different ways, and Kawhi displayed it with his commitment that I talked about, his team first attitude. I think he averaged like 16 a game for us his sophomore year. Instead of averaged 25. We had the best team in the history of San Diego State, and he knew that everybody needed to be involved, and he was very willing to allow everybody to get the glory and recognition. And I think it comes back to John Wooden's quote when he talked about the star of the team is the team. And that's how Kawhi viewed it. The star of the team was the team, not him.
You know, you mentioned that being San Diego State's best team ever. And in that Sweet 16 game against UConn, he picks up those 2 quick fouls, one of them a technical. If that plays out differently, if he doesn't pick up those 2 early fouls, does San Diego State beat UConn that night?
Coulda, woulda, shoulda. I mean, you have to have luck in the NCAA tournament, much more so than the NBA, because it's one and done rather than win 4 out of 7. 4 out of 7, usually the better team will ultimately come out on top. We had a great team that year. Others were. I don't think Connecticut was the best team in the country, and they won the national championship. I do think we were better than Connecticut. Could we have won the national championship? Obviously we would like to say, yeah, I think we could have. The irony was Kawhi got a technical for taunting and Kawhi never said anything to anybody. And that had a big impact on the game.
Wow, isn't that something? Steve Fisher with us on Extra 1360. Coach, I think you could make a really strong case right now that Kawhi Leonard is the best player in the NBA. Do you agree with that?
Well, there are a lot of people that are attempting to say that right now, and I think some of it may be positioning for free agency. Yeah, you look at some of the coaches that are coming out saying it, and I think they're standing in line to try to get him to come to their organization. You can make an argument for it, though. He is playing as well as anybody in the NBA as we speak, and he's the catalyst for a very good Toronto Raptor team, but he's a player that when you're a superstar, when you're that good, you make everybody around you better. And Kawhi has done that. I like their team. I think they've got a wonderful group of players, immensely talented, and Kawhi has made all of them better.
What kind of chance do you give him to beat the Golden State Warriors in the finals?
Well, better than anybody else in the NBA. How's that? I think
Fair enough.
They need to get this first one. I think they need to get this game tonight. They got 2 at home. I don't like the 2-3-2 format. So I think it's important that they come out and get game 1. I think they got it. I know they have a fighting chance. Durant's not playing. Curry and Thompson and Green have played better lately without Curry, but they do miss Durant, and whether he'll be back for any of the series remains to be seen. But I'm very much looking forward to tonight, and I think Toronto's got a great chance tonight to get game number 1.
Coach, if you were to give him advice this offseason in free agency, what would that advice be?
I'm not about to give him advice. I'm going to be one that will be supportive wherever he winds up, and he's going to have a lot of suitors and going to have many options. Whether he comes back to Southern California, like a lot of people are saying, he bought a home in Rancho Santa Fe. Whether he stays in Toronto, first time ever they've gone to the NBA Finals, and he's a king in that city. So we'll see. I have another interesting thought too. That a little sidebar to this, that kind of from the tentacles of what happened way back with San Antonio, and that's whether he will be with open arms welcome and invited to the Olympics in 2020. That will be an interesting show to watch also.
Because Papa's the coach of the Olympic team.
Right.
Oh, fantastic. Coach, we appreciate the time, and as always, you dropped some nuggets in there. The star of the team is the team, and it's a John Wooden line, but we appreciate you saying it to us today. Thank you for the time, Coach.
Well, let's help with the karma through the TV tonight. Let's get the Raptors a win in game number 1.
All right, Coach, we'll do our best. Thank you.
Okay, guys, thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.